In the late 90s and early 2000s, Steve the Crocodile Hunter Irwin became an international phenomenon, introducing the world to the wild outback of Australia where he grew up. Everything was going great until a chance encounter with a pissed-off Stingray. This week on Death and Entertainment.
Live from Los Angeles.
911, what is your emergency?
Here in Hollywood now.
2 counts of murder,
Injury and death.
Oh my God!
Shocking new details.
that has stunned the entertainment world.
This makes me a little nervous.
The hair stood up on my arms.
Just like in the movies.
What do you call this thing anyway?
Death.
In entertainment.
Crikey, deados.
Oh, oi, mate, is your mic on?
Oh, the mic's just turned on.
Oh, good to hear, mate.
Hello. What's up, everybody? My name is Kyle Plouffe.
My name is Mark Mulcairn.
And I'm Alejandro Dowling.
That was a great Down Under
Thank you.
accent.
Oi.
Dickhead.
Oi. Hey, ho. I'm trying to do like a New York, Brooklyn accent, but with it mixed with Australian.
That was an Australian dice you tried to do right there.
Ace ho.
Little
Ace
Miss
hole, mate.
Muffet sat and taffet.
Eating a Vegemite.
Then a dingo came along.
Yeah.
We are in for a doozy this episode, you guys. We are talking about Mr. Steve Irwin.
We got a meaty steak of a podcast here for you guys.
Yeah.
From the Outback.
From the Outback.
Steakhouse.
So get your bloomin' onions ready.
Oi, get your sides prepared.
Because we're going to September 4th, 2006.
Oi. Okay, guys, what is going on here in terms of the pop culture moment?
Wow. The top 3 movies at this time. Number 3, Gridiron Gang.
Don't know it.
The Rock,
It sounds like The Rock would be in it.
It sounds like the Longest Yard remake.
Gridiron Gang. I believe it was The Rock.
No,
Was it?
the Longest Yard remake was called The Longest Yard.
I know, but it sounds like it would be like a new beginning.
Okay.
A requel, if you will.
Yeah. A reimagining of the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
Not the whole 9 yards, a different one.
That was another.
Longest Yard.
The
Which
Longest
had a
Yard.
sequel called The Whole 10 Yards.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Very clever.
Yes.
The longest whole 9 Gridiron Gang yards.
Exactly. What's number 2?
Number 2 is Invincible.
I don't even know what this is.
Wasn't
either.
that a Michael Jackson album?
No, wait a second.
No,
This was Mark Wahlberg, right?
Oh, it was when he was the Philadelphia Eagles wide receiver.
He played like a bomb, like Always Sunny in Philadelphia mocked that by doing Mac plays for the Flyers or something. Or the Eagles.
He played a slightly more athletic, slightly less racist version of himself.
Okay.
Wait.
He didn't take it on anyone's eye in this.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank God.
He likes the Asians in this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Well, like is a strong word. Number 1, Kyle.
Number 1 is Jackass number 2.
That's a confusing number 1.
It
Jackass
is.
number 2. Yeah.
Number 1 is the second one.
Love all the Jackasses.
Yeah, the second one is fun. It's the one where John Waters appears.
It's the one where Don Vito
Was cut out of?
cut out of it, right?
Yes.
We talked about that before.
Yeah, after
he was CGI'd
canceled.
out.
He was CGI'd out, yeah.
The tooth bit where they pulled the tooth out.
Yeah, he was in the background.
They redid that because he wasn't allowed to be on
Imagine
camera
having to
for
redo
that.
that because he's a pedophile in
Yeah.
Denver or something.
Yeah,
Jesus.
Danger Aaron had his teeth ripped out after that.
In 3D. In the third installment.
Yeah, because Don Vito was a como se dice pedophile.
Yeah, he was a weird around the kids. That guy.
Yeah, he frequented a lot of malls, and he wasn't exactly Tiffany on tour. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay. Alejandro, what is going on with you in general,
With
and
your
also
references.
what's going on with the top 3 songs right now?
Number 3, Sean Paul.
Shut up, all.
When you gonna give it to me?
Lorde.
This is one song I don't know by the title, and I love Sean Paul.
Yeah.
It's no Get Busy.
No.
You failed the Sean Paul pop quiz.
Shut up, all.
Okay.
You saved it with that.
Number 2, Fergie, London Bridge.
Okay.
That album of hers was all over the place then.
That's when she pissed herself around those
I was going to say,
times
I see
on
London, I
stage.
see France, I see Fergie pissing her pants.
Nice.
You know what I mean?
We can't talk about Fergie without bringing up pissing the pants.
You know what I
thing.
mean? Yeah, I can't get it out of my brain. Someone sent me that picture one time.
All right. Well, this London Bridge is going to fall to number 1 now.
We will.
Justin Timberlake, Sexy Back.
Whoa.
I'm bringing sexy back.
That's a good Justin.
Thanks.
Yeah.
That sounded like Sean Paul.
Shut up.
Shana Paul is bringing sexy back.
I can see it.
I would say that's probably the song of the year, pretty much.
Yeah. 2006.
Of
I mean,
course,
if
yeah,
those are the number 2 and 3, then of course that's got to be the number 1.
He was on fire. Didn't he just rip Janet Jackson's chest off?
That was
just
five years earlier, but yes.
Just her clothes,
Yeah.
not her actual chest.
That was during the Patriots Super Bowl in 2001, I believe.
He's not Ed Gein.
Wait, are you sure?
Not totally sure, but it was one of the Patriots Super Bowls.
Okay, that could be a Mandela effect.
Yeah, that song, it was a summer jam, and it just kept rolling at number 1.
Yep.
Yeah.
It kept rolling as Steve Irwin
Ooh, what a
was
segue.
swimming.
Segue for the ages right here. Crikey, that was a segue.
Crikey!
Okay, Steve Irwin was born in Upper Ferntree Gully, Victoria, Australia. That's a mouthful right there.
That's a
That is
city?
a lot of qualifiers.
Yeah, it's like it's a suburb of Melbourne. Melbourne.
Melbourne.
Melbourne. Yeah, I'm saying it so wrong, but it's like the second biggest city in Australia. Australia's weird, man. I in my research of this thing, I found out Australia's a very interesting, weird place.
Yeah.
In general. When he was 8, his parents, his dad was like a successful plumber. And he was like crushing it in like the plumbing business, I guess. And at some point, I guess his dad and his mom just decided, fuck this. We want to live off the grid. We're going to fucking move. We don't want to be here anymore. And they moved to a place called Beerwah, Queensland in 1970 when Steve was 8.
Beerwah.
Beerwah. Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Sounds like a town in Wisconsin.
yeah, it does
Beerwah,
actually.
Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Oofta.
Yeah, it's right next to Fond du Lac.
Yeah. They seem like similar places also, kind of bizarre
Yeah.
things going on. It's like 1,800 miles north of where they were in Melbourne there.
Is that how they say it in Australian?
Melbourne?
Melbourne.
Yeah, they say Melbourne.
They do,
Melbourne.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
from Beerwah.
Melbourne.
Yeah.
Beerwah, Melbourne.
It's like a 20-hour
Oprah, Uma.
Oofta.
uva. It's like a 20-hour kangaroo ride north of.
We need to make every reference Australianized today.
Yeah. He made 14 koalas on this TV show he was making. So yeah, it's weird. Like the north of Australia is like the south of America, kind of. It's more rural. There's more interesting people up there.
Less teeth.
Less teeth,
More
I would say.
racism.
Maybe probably more meth. Who knows?
Yeah.
The hills have eyes.
Kind of like that. Yeah. It's like a weird rural,
The
strange
south,
area.
but north.
Yeah, exactly. We'll stick with that. This is where Steve Irwin would spend pretty much the rest of his life, and he'd be more or less shaped by this area. This wasn't the bush, as they call it, but it was close. It was like on the edges of the bush. But the bush is like more inland. It would be like more, I want to say, west of here, rather.
The bush meaning it's a large forest or something?
Yeah.
No, Gavin Rosdale.
The lead
It was a
singer of
Gavin
Bush.
Rosdale
Yeah.
concert
Yeah.
across the entirety of Central Australia.
Yeah.
Okay.
They closed out the Friday night show after Korn. His parents were like super crazy animal people. And that's the reason why they wanted to move so far away, because their big dream was to start a zoo for some reason. Yeah, they're like the weird Matt Damon movie, We Bought a Zoo. But they literally actually did that for some reason. They went up north and they started this place called the Beerwah Reptile and Fauna Zoo.
Oh.
And fauna?
Yeah,
Reptile and fauna.
Fauna meaning like plants and plant life and stuff. So it's
Gotcha.
not just animals. Yeah, Steve was like thrown right into this as a kid. His dad bought him his first python at 9 years old. I don't know where he's buying these pythons or anything, but he gave it to him.
I just got a fucking yo-yo when I was 9.
Yeah.
Couldn't even use it.
I was screamed at to get a job.
Also at 9 years old, he wrestles his first alligator under his father's supervision.
So
Yeah.
that's like Bourdain trying the oysters
Yeah.
when he's young.
Yeah, exactly.
It's very sexual.
Yeah. Yeah, he was just thrown into this entire world. It was crazy. His parents were nuts with animals, like to the point that it's dangerous. The parents would driving on the highway, they'd see dead kangaroos and they'd check the pouches whenever they saw a dead kangaroo on the side of the road to see if there are any living babies in there.
This is what Jeffrey Dahmer's dad would do with him. Pull over on the side of the road and take care of some roadkill.
No shit?
Yeah.
Really? Yeah. But
That was dramatized in the new Netflix thing.
Yes.
I would say the difference with the Irwin family is that if they found the baby kangaroos, they'd nurse them back to life and make sure that they were okay.
Instead of dissect them?
The other major difference is Steve Irwin wasn't into murdering gay black men.
That we know
That
of.
we know of. Put an asterisk
This
next
could
to that.
come up by the end of the episode.
Put an asterisk next to that fact. We'll readdress that later. But this house was like a house in peril. There were animals everywhere. There were fucking pythons in the walls and shit. There were there was koalas in cabinets. There was kangaroos in guest rooms and shit.
And the pythons didn't eat the koalas?
No, I don't know.
Because they were in the walls.
Yeah, it was like Noah's Ark. All the animals were friendly with each other for some reason. in
What's
this
that
crazy
bump
house.
I'm hearing?
Yeah.
Oh, that's just a python in the wall.
Yeah, the friend going over there must have been there's no way I'm sleeping over. I'm not sleeping over your house, Steve. I'm sorry.
Pay no heed, mate. Just me python.
But everyone had that kid, though, they grew up with. You don't want to go to their house because it's all fucked up. And,
A lot of kids were like that.
Yeah.
Where I grew up.
Yeah. It's there's exposed wiring and stuff. And there's no carpeting or anything. And yeah, I had a couple of those growing up. I don't want to go into too much detail there, but it was
Big backyards where you weren't sure if things were buried there.
Yeah. I would think if I was part of a Australian state agency of that protected children, I would want to pay a visit to this house. But that will come up later, actually.
No!
So stick a pin in that also.
Wow.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie though, I probably would have wanted to check this house out as a kid.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Just
you want to
see-
come over and see my dad wrestle a fucking alligator?
Yeah, in the living room.
Yeah.
Yeah, after
I'm
dinner.
in.
After dinner.
I'm in.
Or I could go watch the Hook VHS for the 10th time.
Yeah.
Not knowing it was Dustin Hoffman the whole time.
But yeah, they started this ridiculous Birwa reptile sanctuary, whatever they were doing. It made no money. They were flat broke basically their entire life, the parents. The father, Bob, and the mom, Lynn, they were, dead broke basically their entire lives.
Oh, nobody wanted to go to the Snake and Fauna
Exactly.
Foundation?
Especially in the 70s where people were out and out littering everywhere.
Yeah.
Remember that Native American commercial?
The
where it's-
single tier?
Yeah, the single tier where some kids throw shit at his feet. That's basically how people were feeling around this time. So no one's going, there's no conservationists. No one really cares.
And not to caricature Australia, but can't you see a lot of that stuff just wandering around Australia?
Yeah.
Aren't there just
from what I hear,
kangaroos hopping around in the open and snakes?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it is kind of like a very rural area where it's already out there anyway. So it's not they grew up in Greenwich Village or something. They have just all these crazy animals. This is a very rural area.
Like in Wisconsin, if I opened a museum where you could come see deer
Yeah.
and headlights.
That would be
do too
crazy
well.
too. Yeah, that'd be. Steve was just naturally great with animals, and his dad knew this. You could tell from an early age. That's probably why he's giving him a python at 6 years old and letting him wrestle alligators at 9 and stuff, or crocodiles. Sorry.
Dad actually reckons you've got a gift.
Yeah.
An animal instinct which enables you to deal with animals. What is that gift?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Dad was kind of the first one to notice it, and good on him. You know, I'm just a product of my parents and my environment. And I was 4 years old, and Dad was catching snakes for the then Commonwealth Serum Laboratory, right? And he was looking for brown snakes and tiger snakes at a place called Bulla in Victoria. And so we're looking for tiger snakes and brown snakes, and I'm 4 years old, and I'm rattling around helping him. But, you know, I was playing imaginary games, imaginary armies, you know, shooting back at the, it was Japanese back then because my grandfather and great-grandfather died in World War II, so it was the Japanese I was hunting. Whatever, please don't, you know, like...
He's going to get cancelled for saying that.
He said I drive a Toyota, so give me a break.
Hunt around, and Dad's over there. And here's this huge brown snake, absolute whopper, well over 5 foot, so I've come up on it, I've gone, you know, like, you know, got it. Dad, I got one. And he's like, what is he on about? And he comes up, look at this, Dad, and here's this brown snake, Andy, and it's up on my shin like I'm wearing plastic sandals, no socks either. And here's this brown snake with its head right on my leg, and I've got a pin, and it's a whopper, it's almost as thick as my dad's wrist, and he's gone whack, you know, and belted me out of the way, crushed me like a bug, because I thought I'd got this brown snake for him, and I thought I was going to come out of this a hero, and he decks me. But he thought he saved my life, and, you know, for months he's scratching his head. How come that kid never got killed by that brown snake? And I guess he figured it out then. He's figured, this kid's got something. So...
Is that how he tested his kid?
Yeah. Also, he's crazy on talk shows. He's like running around the whole fuking stage.
Yeah, he's like Chris Farley.
Yeah. Kind of. Yeah, he's just,
a little bit more put together.
He's out of control.
He starts throwing cheese heads out.
Yeah. Maybe he is like Mark Wahlberg a little bit when he's talking about the Japanese.
Yeah, and the other thing.
He looked, as soon as he said it, was like, he's like, my family died in World War II. And I thought, you know, these are the Japanese. And then he looked around and was like, wait, please don't.
Yeah.
There's some...
Immediately thought, please don't cancel me.
There's a Japanese guy sitting in the front row just grimacing.
Yeah, but loading a gun.
And you know those games
they were playing.
Yeah. Those games they were playing as kids. It was probably no holds barred Japanese references.
Oh yeah.
Jokes.
You know what was really going on there.
Yeah.
And it wasn't good. Steve decided at a very young age, this is what he wanted to do for a living. You know, wrestle crocodiles.
Find some whoppers.
Yeah, wrestle crocodiles and fuck with snakes and shit. Surprisingly, there's not a good profit in that business.
Unless you're on TV.
Unless you're Steve Irwin.
But it took him a while to get there. Like in the 80s and stuff, he was just hanging out in the bush. Like he would be like a for-hire guy who would go in, and there were poachers there that would just kill crocodiles. His thing and how he sold himself is that he would go in and actually capture them and take them to somewhere where they could be safe and live and not a nuisance to the people that were living around there. So like say like a new condo development, you know, was being built somewhere and they had a bunch of crocodiles. Instead of just shooting them, they'd call Steve Irwin to come in to like, you know, he had a very unique way of going in and getting a crocodile out of it. Like some of them are like 15 feet long and shit.
Oh, they're huge.
Yeah.
So he's a kind of whisperer?
Kind of. Like this was his tactic. He would go in when it was nighttime. Go in with like, I think it was like a million candle power spotlight. And he would shine it around the water. And he'd try to find the redness of the crocodile's eyes.
Wow.
And the crocodiles wouldn't know that he was coming. Because they don't know that, you know.
Look out, mate. Steve's coming.
Yeah. Oi, man, let's get on here.
Let's get on.
But I don't know how they don't know that he's coming, but he was able to sneak up on them and just grab them and then just, you know, hold on to them until they were like subdued and then throw them in his dinghy boat and then take them to like some sanctuary somewhere where they would be okay.
That's fucking insane.
It's nuts, dude.
Yeah.
That's
playing with fire.
That needs to be the TV show.
Well, that became the TV show. Yeah.
What he did.
But sneaking up at night? Like that is so crazy.
Sometimes he would do night shows like that. Yeah. At the end of it, once he got the crocodile, he'd just say, piece of cake.
He liked the food metaphors. Whoppas.
Yeah, kind of.
Candy from a baby.
Yeah. I think that's how he speaks, but that's like how, he just speaks very layman. That's how people talk there.
Yeah.
Like if you're like, I don't want not dumb people, but
from outside the bush.
Yeah, the bush people.
He's got a gift for it, though. You could tell there.
He does.
Because everything he says is, besides the Japanese references, very put together, funny, articulate, never misses a beat.
Yeah.
Yeah. He would spend a lot of the 80s doing this. His dad would come along sometimes. This was like how he spent his 20s. This is like him like really going wild.
And his dad wasn't into it as much?
His dad was there sometimes, but his dad was like an older guy.
Because it almost sounds like he noticed it by chance that Steve Irwin was good at capturing pythons and crocodiles.
It wasn't just that brown snake situation. Like he could tell right away that his son had something special with animals. And not all, he has like a couple brothers and sisters, and they like became accountants and stuff. They didn't fuck around with any of this shit. They're like, I don't want to have pythons on my walls.
Well, it sounds like the father had an affinity for it. Like he had a love of animals that he kind of passed on, and his son took it and ran.
Yeah.
Like to an extreme.
I think so. I think that's the case. And I'm going to get into it right now, but when he met his soon-to-be wife, Terry Irwin, that's when like they became a team and they were able to kind of monetize the entire situation there, because the Birwa Reptile and Fauna Park wasn't going to be his future. And there was no money there. There was no future there to begin with. After the 80s is done, the 90s come around and he goes back to, they rename it the Queensland Reptile and Fauna Park. Like they thought a name change was like, it's like not the Facebook or Facebook, it's just like, it's cleaner. They're still not making any money, surprise, surprise.
They have a sign that says under same management.
Yeah.
People have to think twice.
That's hilarious.
Hunter really got me on that one. Everything must go still.
Everything must stay.
So in the 90s, he's kind of just being a guide around this park, in which gets a couple people per day, not enough traffic to really keep it afloat. But in
those poor people that showed up,
yeah,
their ears must have been talked off.
Well, one of those people was Terry Irwin, actually. She came in with a friend because she was traveling around. She was like around the same age as Steve. I think a couple of years younger.
Oh, she was a fan of the fauna and reptile sanctuary.
She was like one of the only people. It's like one of the only people that are there at like Bruce Springsteen's first concert or something.
He's like, I'm going to marry the first person that comes through here.
Next person that shows me any attention, I'm married.
It's an interesting way.
Better not be a lizard.
To meet women, to open a sanctuary and hope she just shows up someday.
So most guys, like normal guys, like become a DJ or a stand-up comic.
Go to the bar, have a couple Fosters.
Yeah, exactly. Her book that nice. Her book that I read, it kind of reads like a steamy romance sex novel kind of. Yeah.
Terry Irwin wrote a book?
She did, yeah.
Okay.
She wrote a book called Steve and Me about, a lot of it is about her, but that's not a problem.
He was as hard as an armadillo's back.
Oh, well, but she was from Oregon, though, so she didn't really talk like that. This was her first.
He reminded me of a wild dingo.
Yeah.
Giving me a baby.
Yeah. I wanted to put his steak in me, if you know what I mean.
Put his dingo in my baby.
Rocking with the roo, if you know what I mean.
I want you to go down under.
Hello.
Oi. This is the first like excerpt from chapter 1 about her meeting Steve Irwin. When I heard there would be a special guided tour of the Crocodile Environment Park, I was first in line for a ticket. I had to hear more. This man was on fire with enthusiasm, and I felt I really connected with him. Like I was meeting a kindred spirit. What was the young zookeeper's name? Irwin. Steve Irwin.
Like he's James Bond.
Yeah, exactly.
Can we just give props to the people who open animal sanctuaries? Because they always get pussy.
Wait, where are you getting this?
They get a lot of pussy, like lions and
And cats.
cats and tigers.
Joe Exotic, all the fucking Doc Keitel, whatever his name was.
He says Joe Exotic got a lot of pussy.
He did get pussy, but he also got a lot of dick.
Yeah.
Also, Joe Exotic follows me on Instagram, so we're not going to say anything bad about him.
Okay.
Oh, he's into you then.
He is, yeah.
Wow.
He reposted me on Instagram as well. So
Get him in here.
That's something to brag about.
we should call him from jail.
Yeah.
I'll message him.
All right.
Yeah. Roll him in here.
That could be a future episode. There
Yeah.
was a death somewhere, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Oh, the wife.
There was multiple. And Don Lewis.
Carol Baskin.
Carol
Yeah.
Baskin's husband died.
Yeah, Don Lewis.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway. Terry showed up.
Her line was, he came up and with a broad Australian accent said, "Good day, mate." And she said, "Uh-oh, I thought I'm in trouble."
I thought I pissed myself, but I was just soaking wet.
Yeah, she was super into animals too. She had her own animal sanctuary outside in like around Oregon too. So
shit.
So
what
they
it
had
was.
yeah. She was like a zoology person, kind of like that.
And
Super into animals.
What's at her sanctuary? How can she compete with that?
No. Yeah.
What does she have, like squirrels?
Yeah. Who knows? She's probably some crazy cat lady or something.
She had some heroin addicts from the fucking northeast side of Portland, Oregon.
Oh boy. Okay.
She had some hipsters.
Yeah.
She had some northeast veterans up there.
Black flag
Yeah,
jackets.
she sounds like one of the characters from Portlandia or something. Some weird like animal person who runs with aardvarks or something.
She's a bike messenger.
She's a bike. Yeah. They met in the right away. They had like a connection and stuff. And
Between the genitals.
yeah.
In the bush. Kindred spirits.
They were kindred spirits. Yeah, they spent a lot of time together. The rest of her trip was basically spent with Steve. They went to the hotel together down the street. Yeah.
Okay, do tell.
So they weren't just fucking in the hay next to the lizards here.
So he wasn't just wrestling pythons.
Yeah.
She was, though.
Hello. So she goes back home to Oregon and's like, I'll never talk to this guy ever again. He eventually calls up. He goes, "Oi, it's Steve-O calling from Australia. G'day, mate. How you doing?"
And it was
No
probably
way.
3 a.m. where he was.
Yeah, it was like super late at night. She was waiting up like every night waiting for him to call, basically.
Wow.
And this was the early 90s?
Yeah. No, this was 1991, 92.
So that was a big deal to get a phone call.
phone
From
call.
Australia, no less.
Yeah.
That costs money.
Expensive.
Yeah, and he doesn't have a lot of it.
No.
He probably had to save up to make this phone call.
Yeah.
He probably had to sell a couple lizards or fucking an emu or something
He
to
had
make
to take out a loan to call her.
He used the cash from her admission to come in for the sanctuary
Yeah.
to be able to do this.
He stole money from her purse.
Yeah, probably.
To call her collect.
Boy, I could use a couple shekels.
Hey, what's that? Look at the dingo.
He's speaking
Then he grabs the cash when she looks.
He's also speaking Yiddish now for some reason. He uses shekels.
Oy vey.
So she goes, "You should come here to Oregon to visit me now with me and my family for Thanksgiving." And he's like, "What's Thanksgiving?" And then, so he goes over there, meets the entire family.
Wow.
Imagine you go to your family Thanksgiving, you bring this fucking 6-foot-tall blonde psychopath from Australia. But he was like a cool guy, very great with the family.
The only thing I could see where they were comfortable is that she's already in that world of running a sanctuary. So he's probably just one of the nutter butters that show up at those things.
Yeah,
he's
probably.
He's crazy, but he's normal to her.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
like,
the family's used to it, probably.
yeah. Well, her like him, both of their families were like, "I never thought you would get married." Like, because they're both like outlier kind of cuckoo people, like.
So they're just happy she found someone.
I think that's the case. They're like, "Thank God we're getting Terry off our hands."
Yeah.
They're both a couple of wild koalas.
They're kindred spirits. Yeah, wild koalas.
on the road.
In the wild, yeah. So Steve goes, he spends a lot of time in the Pacific Northwest of America. He goes skiing. She did tell one thing where some blonde Betty, or Sheila as he calls him, was trying to hit on Steve, and she had to get rid of her.
Oh.
Yeah, there was she had a couple of moments there where she had to like push off some chicks that were trying to get into Steve's.
She's a little
pants.
feisty.
Yeah, trying to get into those khaki pants of his.
And the accent goes a long way.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, the women love that here, the Australians.
Yeah.
And they're all maniacs. So, they had a nice trip, and then she goes back again and back to the zoo. And now she's basically just staying there, back at the family zoo back in Victoria. They put her to work right away. She's retrieving crocodile eggs. She fed a venomous snake.
What do you mean retrieving crocodile legs? Were they cut off or they fall off?
Eggs.
Eggs.
Oh, I thought you said legs too.
Legs.
Go rip me up a couple of legs there, honey.
Like, damn, this chick's a savage.
So,
She rips out kangaroo hearts with her bare hands.
Like, we didn't even ask you to do that.
But we got dinner tonight, so that's great.
So I guess we'll eat it. But in the future, could you not do
In the
that?
future, we like hamburgers.
Yeah, we'd prefer you didn't do that. So instead of the hotel, now she's sleeping at the zoo, which is, not that glamorous, I assume.
Yeah.
They went to the bush together for a week, and she saw some of the craziest shit ever, and which was all pretty normal to Steve. And she's just like detailing this insane shit where he's like wrestling alligators and stuff and grabbing snakes and it was like super insane for like someone from Oregon just to kind of like jump into this world
where he grew up.
Yeah.
All the stuff that is normal to him will just blow anybody else's mind.
Yeah.
Like come to Fond du Lac, I'll show you the lighthouse.
Oh, that's exciting. Can't wait.
On our way.
Ticket booked.
Take you to Schmitty's bar or something, but I can't
that's
show you
Schmitty for you.
Can't show you anything cool.
Yeah.
I'll show you where the Halloween killer murdered a 9-year-old on your porch.
I might tell that story on the Halloween episode.
Oh,
Have we not told it on this podcast
We
yet?
haven't.
Ooh. Tune in the rest of this month.
I love the
to find
Halloween
out.
stuff. So they get back from the bush, and right away they're put back to work. Even they're fucking exhausted. They have to chop down a tree that was hit by lightning while they were in the bush.
60 feet tall.
60 feet tall.
That's insanely
And
tall.
Steve is at the top of it. Top of this fucking tree that was like zapped in half, basically. And he's like swinging back and forth, sawing off all the little branches before they can chop it down all the way.
And they're married at this point?
So they're working on this tree. It took them like all day after they're already exhausted from the bush. At the end of it, they finally relax for a moment, and Steve looks to Terry and goes, "So you want to get married?"
I just ruined the story.
No.
Yeah. We were going to get there
setting
anyway.
him up.
You set me up. Yeah, and I knocked him down.
I swear I didn't know.
He cut the tree down and then asked her.
Okay, that's very romantic.
I guess. Is it?
Most people opt for a nice restaurant, but what are you going to do?
No ring either, from what I know of. Yeah, he didn't even have a ring. He's just like, so want to get married? Like you want to get beers or something. So June 4th, 1992, they're married. The wedding is actually back in Oregon. And like some of Steve's family come. They have like 400 people. Nice ceremony, very beautiful.
That's still a big wedding, 400 people.
Yeah, I think she had a bigger, more normal family that wasn't, it
wasn't like 399 people and then him.
Yeah.
And on his side, it's just a bunch of animals.
Yeah,
like it's a koala bear, a kangaroo.
A bunch of dead animals.
Yeah. Imagine his family table. There's literally koalas sitting at the table eating dinner.
It's like, that's my brother. My brother told me.
Yeah, just a taxidermied kangaroo.
Yeah. There's a lizard on the dance floor.
And in the pouch, he puts some
that's
flowers.
just the maid of honor. Lot lizard. Come on.
Steve would say, this was the scariest thing I've ever done in my life. Talking about the wedding. And he had been like, he was doing that tree a second ago.
I mean,
yeah.
Yeah.
What did they make him wrestle an alligator on the dance floor?
Yeah. No, but getting
That's why it was scary for him.
That was called the first dance, Alejandro.
With the mom.
I bet you all these things we're imagining, her parents were thinking of. And were scared of happening in front of their family. And then after the wedding and stuff, they were going to go on a honeymoon in the Pacific Northwest. They had everything planned out.
Beautiful spot.
Steve goes to her after the wedding. Do you want to go on the honeymoon that we have planned? Or do you want to go catch some crocs? Apparently, this.
And he was talking about the shoes.
Hello.
She's like,
you want to get these pre-releases or what?
She's like, yeah, I actually want to do our honeymoon.
Yeah. I got to go back for a bit here because this guy, what happened is after the wedding, this guy, John Staten, called. John Staten would be his like collaborator and partner in television and all like the media stuff he would do for the rest of his career. So this guy he had met in the 80s and stuff. Steve would always be the person that brought like the wild animal and stuff for Steve to like shoot in commercials and, you know, documentaries and stuff like that. Smaller things where Steve wouldn't really be in it, but the animals would be. Very important person in his career. He was a award-winning, you know, documentary filmmaker, very talented guy. Him and Steve did like some beer commercials together, but they never really, you know, did that much stuff together.
They did some beer commercials.
They did one beer commercial where they wanted it to look like there was some Australian guy threw a beer to a crocodile and he caught it in his mouth. And then it was like, you know, Foster's beer, whatever. And Steve would like put together stuff like that.
So he was sort of a personality.
He was the animals.
He was like the handler.
He was the handler.
Gotcha.
Yeah, he was the handler.
He wasn't in the commercials.
He wasn't in the commercials yet.
All right,
yeah,
gotcha.
he was not the star of the show yet.
Okay.
He was pimping his product first.
He was pimping his product.
And then eventually there was some smart camera guy that's like, let's point this a little bit to the left.
Yeah, kind of. What happened is Steve had all these old VHS tapes that he would like put like on a tree or something while he wrestled a crocodile, or like, you know, in the mud while he like grabbed snakes and shit. And so he had his own. It was like the early Jackass stuff.
I was just gonna say that, like skater videos, but for
more
animals.
or less like when Bam Margera was doing like the earlier stuff before they made a Jackass.
Yeah, before Don Vito.
Okay, we don't have to bring up Don Vito.
Before Wild Boys.
Way before Wild Boys. John Staten got these tapes and stuff, and he brought them around to like TV stations. They're like, I want to make stuff with my friend here, Steve Irwin, super talented guy. And then the TV station was like, this is too rough. Like we can't do anything with this stuff. It's like bad VHS quality tapes and stuff. So the
quality was poor for them?
The quality, like the overall camera work and audio was like, it was like a regular.
They're like, this is amateur shit.
Do you remember like an 80s video camera?
Yeah.
Those were like, you know, the quality was shit. You know, the audio off the microphone was just not good.
Yeah.
If you were a serious documentarian, you'd be working with 16 millimeter film or something.
And that's what John's working with. But he didn't have that because Steve had given him all this old footage and they didn't shoot anything on their own. So what they had to do was basically, here, like, let's try to find some situation where we can, you know, we can get together and shoot something together.
Yeah.
Like something that happens. It just so happens that there was a 15-foot crocodile somewhere in the bush that was like threatening people like that were living around that area.
Threatening Betty White.
And they
Lake
want
Placid reference.
They either wanted it.
Oh, I didn't get it at first. I love a good Lake
You're
Placid
welcome, everybody.
reference. She was feeding the croc in that movie.
Yeah. After he threatened her.
So, we'll leave it there.
She was friends with the croc in that movie. Remember, she liked him more than the humans.
Yeah, absolutely.
And she called the humans cocksuckers.
Cocksuckers. So, anyway, So John
Mark's about to call us.
Cocksuckers.
So John calls him right away and just says, "We got to. It's like now or never with this right now. This is a perfect scenario. I got my whole crew right here. We're gonna go shoot this. Let's do it." And then Steve is like, "Fuck, I got to go on my honeymoon." So luckily Terry's like, "All right, I'll go, and we'll go together."
Oh, so there was something to him saying, "Do you actually want to catch crocs?"
Yeah, there was something real about that because that's what happened.
I mean, fuck. If you're gonna blow off a honeymoon, this is the reason to do it.
Yeah, and
No brainer.
Yeah, and she's fully on board with his career and all these kind of crazy, rash decisions that she has to go along with as a newlywed with this fucking guy.
So he had aspirations to actually make things bigger.
And I think she did too. She saw in him, even on the first meeting at, his shitty family zoo, that he had something bigger to offer.
Yeah.
And she was going to help him kind of put that together.
Because I'm trying to think, like, really, there wasn't any, other than National Geographic, there was
Jack Hanna.
Jack Hanna. Yes,
that was the guy that
literally
did it before. He kind of took Jack Hanna's spot.
I almost said Hanna-Barbera.
Yeah.
Yogi Bear.
Yeah.
No, Jack Hanna.
But literally, he was the only guy.
But still, what Steve Irwin would eventually do, that's not the same style as Jack Hanna.
Absolutely not.
Jack Hanna was even keel, chill.
He was like the Casey Kasem of the animal world. Like, check this out.
Yeah, I think Steve Irwin was Jack Hanna on crack, kind of. He'd come in. He was like,
"Let's get him."
Yeah. Irwin was like more of the he would go on Conan. He was like a bigger character that even Conan was. He'd like fucking outshadow him totally.
Yeah.
And so he was like his own thing. Where that's what happened when they first went to Discovery Television. They're like, usually the animal is the star of the attraction with Discovery. Here, it's like Steve, and that's not usually how we do things. So they gave him a shot, and eventually, it turned out to be the biggest money maker in the world for them.
So smart. And this is before YouTube, where now
This shit
everybody
would
in
go-
the world is saying, "Oh, I got a personality.
Yeah.
I'm interesting."
But there's still nobody doing what he's doing.
Yeah.
Then, even now.
Yeah, there are people doing extreme things, but it's not the same.
Not on the level.
Yeah.
Not with the same skill.
No.
Yeah. Well,
Some of them die.
what happens is they shoot.
Thank God.
They shoot all this stuff.
No, I mean, survival of the fittest. What, Mark?
John Staten, they shoot all this stuff with him. So they have all this kind of footage that they put together. They were going to capture this 15-foot crocodile, which they weren't able to get because he had already been shot by poachers.
Oh, no.
So they went around and they found another crocodile, not as big, but they caught that one. And they used that one and they put together all this footage and they sent it around to TV stations. And it got some traction around Australia. Like he became like a local star.
I believe it.
They aired it and like it gradually, it was slow, but eventually it got bigger and bigger. And more people started coming to the zoo that Terry and Steve were now running. So the parents, Bob and his wife, Lynn, gave it to them. So they're running it. When they're running at the beginning, they're making no money. They're making like $20 a day. Like basically the shitty zoo that no one goes to.
Same as ever.
Same as ever. Once they went to making like $600 a week. Once this stuff started airing, like the Steve doing his Crocodile Hunter stuff, they're making like $700 a day. And then they're making $4,500 a week, and then more and more, like $10,000 a week, and they just exponentially just grew from there. And then, kind of like the rest is history, but like that's how he started his trajectory to becoming like the Crocodile Hunter he eventually became.
I wonder if they really only wanted to use that as advertising for the actual sanctuary, or if they wanted it to be like the actual thing, and then people can also go here.
Yeah,
like tourism.
I think if you ask Steve, he'd probably maybe say that his initial reason was he wanted to get money for conservation stuff.
Yeah,
but I think he really wanted to secretly just want to be a big star.
Yeah,
that makes the most sense.
Disposition for it.
Yeah. And I think it's a win-win though. Either way, who cares? It gets people interested and
brings awareness
to animals and animal safety and stuff. And like, his big thing was against poachers. He hated poachers because they would just kind of shoot.
They're the worst.
Just like Crocodile Dundee did also.
Yeah.
before him. I think, he
Paul Hogan?
He kind of phased. Yeah, Paul Hogan.
Was he against poachers?
In the movie, yeah. If you watch
in
the first movie,
yeah.
You think Mark knows much about the real
I was
Paul
like,
Hogan?
wow, do you really know that much about Paul Hogan?
I'm talking about fictional characters here.
Although he did resurface lately in L.A.
What, dead?
No, they took photos of him,
The top of a lake?
like paparazzi, and he was kind of acting like Clint Eastwood in Gran Torino. Yeah, he's just like a crusty old man.
He's like an angry old dude now.
Yeah.
That sounds like a didgeridoo, how the way you do that. Yeah, he's just a grunting didgeridoo.
Kill all these Asian people.
Okay. Okay.
Off my lawn.
And Mark Wahlberg is like, yo, this is a good dude.
Yeah, I like his message. And the crocodile, I was like, I drive a Toyota.
Okay, so where were we, Paul Hogan?
So,
Oh, yeah.
no, he's
That's a good reference, though, because actually there are some similarities. Crocodile Dundee was a phenomenon in the 80s.
Yeah.
And that was all due to the outlandish personality of Aussie Paul Hogan.
yeah,
And so Steve Irwin is almost a continuation of that.
more or less. Yeah,
The American fascination with Australia.
yeah, and I think what happens is he's getting bigger in Australia. He gets too big for Australia. And so where do Australians go after they get too big in Australia?
Japan.
No,
Big in Japan.
Try again.
Portland, Oregon.
No, try again.
Canada.
Bethesda, Maryland. Because that is, at that time, the headquarters of Discovery Channel.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So they go there and they pitch the ideas. And like I said, the Discovery executives were like, the animals should be the stars here. Why is this kind of crazy Australian guy in front of everyone?
Yeah.
And they're like, that's just how he does it. He's like, got boundless energy. He's a crazy guy. And this is what he does.
Yeah.
So this is pre-reality show, because that seems like such a stupid mindset to have as an executive. Like, the animals should be the star.
Yeah.
Why should you have an outsized personality on TV? Like, duh.
But
Yeah.
it does make sense because everything up until that point is Jack Hanna and like all these people who are like, oh, look at this thing.
Or shows with 0 ratings that nobody gives
And there's not a
shit.
big market
I mean,
for...
Jack Hanna was big back in the 80s.
Well,
and
but he
early
was also
90s.
just a guest on talk shows. He
Yeah.
wasn't the star
Like,
of
look at
talk
this
shows.
bird.
That's what Steve Irwin became. He became
Carson was
he
like-
became the main character on shows. He wasn't just a secondary ancillary character.
How weird. You get a monkey.
Carson's like, we got some birds here.
Yeah, they would jump on Eddie and be like, "Ah, get this off of me!
Shoot on my shoulder.
Johnny, shoot it off me!
These are some weird, wild feathers.
I'm not drunk enough for this yet.
Pooped in my hair.
A lot of people think I did Publishers Clearinghouse.
I have a gambling problem, Johnny." So either way, they go to Discovery and they're a huge fucking hit. They go to not Discovery, the regular one, but Animal Planet, which is like a new thing that they had just started in 1996.
That was like a cool channel for
Yeah.
the kids, Animal Planet.
And that's where he's shown, and he exploded that channel, and it was nothing before him.
96. That is earlier than I thought Animal Planet would be started at.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always thought that was like, I don't know, 99 going into like the 2000s, to be honest.
yeah, I see what you're saying. Because it wasn't a thing, really.
Because cable was king back in the day. You had to pay for all these extra channels. So I don't
You
know
still
if I got...
kind of do, though.
Yeah, but that would have been like a big paid channel for sure.
Yeah.
That wouldn't have been on the regular package.
And there was always big news noticeable when there was a new channel.
Yeah.
So you're always kind of interested.
Yeah.
That one I was a little too old for.
I remember when Cartoon Network came out.
Yes.
And I almost shit myself.
That was a
Yeah.
big one.
Yeah.
Animal Planet, though, am I right? We were a little past the age where we would have been excited about that.
Yeah, I mean, we were,
I was way past. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, I don't really care about this.
we were 10 when it came out.
So, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
could
yeah.
see why you didn't notice that
Right.
much. I think everyone was aware, though, of this guy.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
You know,
Well,
even
he-
if you didn't watch.
He did his first Conan, I think, is around 97. So, like,
Okay.
he became a bigger star with the TV show. He does Conan. he starts doing Jay Leno. He's like, yeah.
Was that him or Leno?
I think that was both. They were in sync, just saying,
Hey, Steve, crikey. Hey, you hear that, Kevin? I can do Australian.
Hey, Yubi. Crikey, Yubi.
So around this time,
Mavis, check out this crocodile guy.
It bit me.
I don't have a hand anymore.
hey,
You
Mavis,
see this, Kevin?
Hey, Mavis, I got you a python.
You want to do the honeymoon or you want to go fight some gators?
Do you mind if I wrap it around your neck?
I don't spend my Tonight Show money.
You're on the way out, Mavis.
I got a garage full of gators.
Come check him out.
I'm looking for a plausible death for you.
I got a rocket-powered gator.
I got a big insurance policy. I got a gator policy on you. Mavis must be hearing all this. Like, what the fuck? This is too much. Which one is it?
Sorry, Mr. Jack Hanna. We got the crocodile guy coming in.
Yeah, we cleaned out your locker, Mr. Hanna. we put the Crocodile Hunter's name tag on it.
We might name you on someday, though.
Yeah. We'll get someone else for you. I'll get you on my 10 o'clock show in 10 years.
Could have low ratings, but you know, can't have it all.
It's going to go nowhere. We'll get canceled. Well, you can do it.
Oh, my God.
Oh, God. Jesus Christ.
Just when we thought we had too much Leno in these episodes.
Never enough,
never
baby.
Enough.
And he always comes up.
I know. Well,
Our subjects do Leno.
Well, he was the fucking host of the biggest talk show for 30 years or something. Yeah, way too long. He stuck around way too long. That's the reason why. Because Johnny, he was kind of in and out a little bit.
Johnny!
Hey, I've had too much to drink. So anyway, let's get back on track here. Okay, guys? You with me?
We're with you.
Okay. So Crocodile Hunter frenzy is hitting the United States and hitting the world, basically. He is crushing everything.
So huge ratings. He's all over the place now.
All over the place. He's on ESPN. He's doing commercials there for like the Florida Gator Bowl.
I can just picture even some of those ads like in magazines where it said Crikey really big.
It's like the montage of the guy getting way too big. This is this is it. Do you want to play the Florida Gator ESPN commercial real quick?
Listen, Steve, I hear you. I mean, if it's up to me, right, we'd have the crocodile hunting 24/7.
Exactly. Every single time I do my bootlaces up, I'm staring death right in the eyes. How many baseballers are doing that?
I'm with you, that's for sure.
Crikey! Stand back, John. Have a go at the size of this beauty. I got him, mate.
Steve, don't.
That's the Florida Gator mascot.
I'll have him subdued any minute now.
I'll catch up with you later.
John!
I'll have him subdued any minute now. Yeah, the Florida Gators winning that battle.
Yeah.
That's what they call a home run ad.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah. So yeah, he's crushing everything, crushing life. He goes to the Cable Ace Awards in 1997 with his wife.
Ace
Awards.
And during these awards in Los Angeles, he gets his wife pregnant in Los Angeles.
During the award ceremony?
I think on stage, yeah.
Wow.
He's like, hey, everyone, watch this.
I'm going to impregnate this lot lizard.
Is that what he calls his wife?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Lizard 1, lizard 2.
I'll have her subdued any time now.
Yeah, I think it was consensual. I don't know. But,
Jesus Christ.
No, in her book, though, she does it in detail, explain,
They did it like during this trip.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's what she tracked it back to. I don't know, how they were detailing that. Who knows?
Yeah.
But anyway,
she sat on his lap.
Yeah. Go on.
Kyle's gonna die. Never mind. Continue.
Okay. Either way, on July 24th, 1998, Bindi Irwin was born.
Bindi.
The Bindi. The Bindi is your baby.
The Bindi ate my baby.
Steve went nuts when she was born. He grabbed her from Terry and ran down the hallway yelling, "I have a daughter." And the nurse goes, "Is he coming back?"
And Bindi, is that an Australian name?
Yeah, it means something. I forget.
Okay.
It's like an Aborigine name, which I'm sure the woke people will go crazy.
You mean like appropriating it?
What does it mean? Kyle, do you have that?
It means little girl.
Oh.
It is an often used Australian Aboriginal term.
Yeah.
Meaning
so,
little girl.
Little girl.
It's a little bit on the nose, isn't it?
And in India,
yeah,
it means a forehead decoration. So it's on the forehead, not on the nose. Okay?
Oh, the Bindi, yeah. Right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking of. Okay.
Yeah. A cool name, I think. I think it's a proper Australian name. It seems
Sure.
like.
Proper.
But what do I know?
Why not?
Yeah. But with great happiness comes great tragedy.
Jesus.
Oh, boy.
Don't do this.
February 11, 2000, Steve's mom dies in a car accident.
Oh, no.
Steve was crushed.
She was crushed.
Okay.
Oh, he got there before I did.
it was like the easiest volleyball layup setup I left for you guys there, and Alejandro spiked it.
Oof.
You're welcome.
Yeah, but yeah,
And my condolences.
it was a rough time because he loved his parents very much. He was like I think he was a very nice, simple guy, and that's like a rare thing these days.
Yeah.
But he can't be stopped. This train stops for no one. The Crocodile Hunter Express. So he's still
Not
crushing.
even
it.
for his mom.
Okay.
That's actually what hit her.
The Crocodile Express.
He's like, "Mommy, can't move. Can't change course."
So around 2001 to 2002, he went from being the weird guest on talk shows to becoming a movie star.
I remember this thing.
2002, The Crocodile Hunter, Collision Course, major motion picture.
I remember booing the trailer at the Braintree AMC.
Well, let's
10.
watch the trailer. Let's see if you boo here, too.
Why did you boo?
Because I was like,
he's getting too big for his britches.
oh, wow.
Okay. You're not allowed to make
I
movies.
like his earlier stuff.
You might know me as the Crocodile Hunter. Have a look at this little beauty, will ya? This is an African lion. But I'm in no danger. He's become a Hollywood lion. He's been sitting in this MGM logo for 77 years. Tough job, mate.
That's like the lion from Roar.
Oh, yeah.
And the one that attacked Jane Mansfield's kid.
Yeah, future episode.
Oh, God.
Too soon.
Of course, in my new movie, The Crocodile Hunter Collision Course, we make this bloke look like a real pussycat.
That's it?
We don't have to boo here. Yeah, that's enough. Yeah, that's enough of that.
So that's the trailer you saw?
Yeah.
And you booed.
Yeah. Because I think I was, at the time, a very young boy. And I felt like I had like punk rock status on certain celebrities, and I felt like I knew him before he was big, and he was getting too big, and I didn't like it.
So you did like his earlier stuff. That's
Yeah,
what you're
of
trying
course.
to say. Yeah,
Yeah.
You're like the REM fans that you claim
Yeah.
that they've sold out.
Something's not adding up with Kyle's journey here.
Nothing.
I always said
nothing
that I
adds
liked
up with
Steve
Kyle
Irwin.
ever.
You didn't even remember when Animal Planet landed.
In 1996?
You made
Because I told you that.
Yeah.
you made no claim that you enjoyed his show.
I loved Steve Irwin.
And suddenly now he's too big for his britches doing the movie and you don't approve?
yes.
Okay.
100%.
Like, it is abrupt.
Doesn't make
It's
sense.
out of
to
the blue.
me.
They're like, oh, yeah, I'm an Uber fan, like crazy fan of his.
Because to
We're just
boo
hearing.
the trailer,
Yeah.
like I would have booed maybe Attack of the Clones trailer or something at that time.
Sure.
I didn't give a fuck
That's a
about
detestable thing.
Steve Irwin doing a movie.
Yeah. Why don't you support the guy? Jesus Christ. His
No,
mom just
boo.
died, you asshole.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Well, apparently you're this crazy fan. You're like the fanatic. You're
Huge.
crazy. Yeah.
Yes.
By the way, you know how the dots always connect
Sure.
in the D.I.E universe?
Yeah.
You know the name of Jay Leno's movie that he did in the 80s?
What?
Collision Course.
Oh my God! With Pat Morita?
Yeah.
Wow.
The same name.
Pat Morita.
Yeah.
How's that?
Hey, Pat.
Him and Pat Morita were actually stand-up friends. They both did stand-up together. in
Pat
LA.
Morita did stand-up?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
Funny guy.
Yeah.
Wax on, wax off.
You guys don't seem that amazed that they both started a movie called Collision Course.
And there was a 2007 album named Collision Course.
By Limp Bizkit.
No,
Yeah.
Jay-Z and Linkin Park.
Oh, yeah, because the two genres were colliding then.
That's right.
I fought so hard. Is that what it is?
Yep.
Yeah, whatever. it is.
Before the documentary on sex trafficking.
Yes. That killed Chester Bennington.
Okay, we're going down a hole. I want to just get some things out of the way here, but I do have some. I do have a conspiracy here too to transition into mine. The premise of this movie, Collision Course, is that a CIA satellite has a small little beacon that falls off into the earth and into, you guessed it, a crocodile's mouth.
Shut up.
Yeah,
We didn't guess it. He's giving us a lot of credit. We didn't even say shit.
Yeah. So the entire movie is just Steve Irwin doing his regular Crocodile greatest hits, while a side B story is going on with the CIA and stuff. So like he's not really acting the entire movie.
So basically, it's like every other movie that's ever been made.
Yeah, but like he's just doing his show while like a side story is going on because
yeah, well, they filmed like extras being like, all right, we're in the movie too.
Yeah.
They threw in some CIA subplot to complement his
to complement the show, and then it kind of like ties in later, but you know, it's kind of a hack movie. Clearly Kyle's not a fan.
This is why I booed.
Yeah.
He didn't win the Oscar. Let's put it that way.
Roger Ebert gave the film 3 out of 4 stars.
No shit.
And he hated Tommy Boy.
And Tommy
This
Boy
motherfucker,
got
dude.
one. Tommy Boy got 1 star.
Yeah, that's crazy. He said his quote is, "You see a couple of likable people journeying through the outback."
That's what Tommy Boy is. Not the Outback, though.
Except it was
The Midwest. Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe Ebert hates, I got it, self-hating. He's a Midwest critic.
Oh.
Is he from the Midwest? He's from Chicago, right?
Yeah, the Chicago Sun-Times. Champaign-Urbana, where he went to
Yeah.
school and had his film festival.
But in this movie, they shit on the CIA. They shit on George W. Bush. They kind of make fun of the war in Iraq a little bit. I don't know.
We're going to have to live stream this.
Yes, this sounds like a very deep movie compared to what I thought it was.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, the CIA, like, there's some shit going on.
They
in this.
fuck with George Bush and the CIA in
The
this
satellites
In
are
a
involved.
kids movie, no less.
Yeah.
movie that I booed
Yeah.
at the Braintree 10.
So
No.
you were a Bushy.
I was.
That's why you booed.
Yep.
Okay.
In the movie, George W. Bush orders CIA helicopters to take out the Crocodile Hunter in the movie.
Does someone play Bush?
I don't know who plays Bush. Maybe it's the guy from That's My Bush, probably.
Yeah, he was playing Bush a lot.
He was
then.
playing Bush on Comedy Central then,
Yeah.
too.
He
Yeah.
also did a serious Showtime movie where he played Bush.
Oh, really?
So he was doing comedy and drama as Bush.
Wow, that guy's got range.
Timothy Bottoms.
No, Timothy Bottoms?
That's his name, Timothy Bottoms from The Last Picture Show.
He got a great bottom.
Nobody will top Sam Rockwell.
Yeah,
Oh, that was good, yeah.
that was pretty good.
And
In
what's
W.
his name? No,
No, in Vice.
Vice.
Yeah.
W
Christian
was
Bale.
Josh Brolin.
Yeah, I don't know who I don't know who played him in this, but I don't know. It's weird. Like then a couple years later, the Crocodile Hunter winds up dead. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there.
So Bush ordered it.
Okay, if you say so.
We're gonna smoke him out of his crocodile.
Out of
land.
the ocean.
So, with all this great, success with the Crocodile Hunter, Steve Irwin, comes some controversies and some bad times here. This is Steve
He's
Irwin
holding a baby.
Holding a
Crocodile
baby.
Hunter Steve Irwin takes his 1-month-old son to his debut crocodile feeding in Brisbane, Australia.
Insanity.
What the fuck?
Crowd of onlookers.
That's insane.
Not since Michael Jackson dangled his baby over a balcony has a celebrity's parenting decisions been so questioned.
That happened after Michael Jackson dangled his kid over
Yeah.
there.
So, for people that couldn't see there, he's has his young son Bob in his left arm while he's dangling a piece of chicken at a 12-foot crocodile.
Yeah.
That is that's right next to them.
And then as soon as the crocodile goes away, he puts the kid like he's walking in the grass, like Team America, World Police, pretty much. He's just like scampering
in the path of the crocodile, like right in the fucking into this arena with a crowd there,
and people are cheering.
Yeah,
it's like the Coliseum. Yeah. Where they want to see some bloodshed.
So Steve Irwin carries his 1-month-old son, Robert, in his arm while hand-feeding a chicken carcass to Murray, a 12'6" saltwater crocodile. The infant was close to the crocodile, and comparisons were made to Michael Jackson, obviously dangling his son outside a German hotel window.
And it's never great when you're compared to Michael Jackson.
No.
Not at that year.
Never.
Not any year.
Yeah.
1981, it's probably a good year to be compared to him.
Yeah.
All right. I'll give you that.
His wife, Terry, said publicly that he was in complete control of the situation, and the camera angles were deceiving to make it look like it was more dangerous than it was.
That's what they always say.
Yes.
When they put a baby in danger. For real.
It was the camera angle.
Yeah, Michael Jackson's like, people couldn't see. I had the baby real tight, and it was impossible that it would fall.
If you see it, that's what it look. That what looks like is happening is happening. You know.
That was such a good Michael Jackson, by the way.
It's a great Michael. Go down in history. Yeah.
And that was Bindi.
That was Bindi.
Poor Bindi.
Well,
Bindi Bob.
Jesus.
The incident made the Queensland government actually change their crocodile handling laws, banning children and untrained adults from entering crocodile enclosures because there's a kid in the middle of a fucking open pit with fucking crocodiles.
My God.
It's a 2-year-old baby. The baby can't even walk.
It shouldn't be
That baby
near.
didn't even look to.
Yeah, it was
less.
probably younger.
Yeah.
What if they fudged the birth certificate just because they knew they were in trouble?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was big news.
Yeah.
I forgot that happened, but yeah, it was Michael Jackson and him doing the crazy baby stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't remember the Crocodile Hunter thing happening at all, but I do obviously remember the Michael Jackson thing.
The Australian government Child Protective Services, remember I mentioned earlier that they were going to become involved again? They paid a visit to the Irwin family home.
No shit.
Unfortunately now, there's no more snakes in the walls and fucking koalas, in cabinets.
They're on their way. Steve's like, we got to get rid of the pythons in the walls.
It's like Goodfellas.
Terry, grab the Crocs.
They're flushing snakes down the toilet.
Karen! Take off your snake skin.
Yeah, Karen, those koalas were all we had, Karen. Yep. Some cop licks the inside of a barrel and it's like a piece of a snake. We got you, scumbag.
They find a bunch of babies in the basement.
Oh boy.
He's like, you got the wrong idea here. We're running a daycare in the sanctuary. Anton LaVey is standing there.
This was not a joke though. He almost lost his Discovery contract. He almost lost advertisers. Contracts. He almost got really fucked by this. He went on Larry King. He went on the Today Show. He did a bunch of shit to apologize deeply and sincerely.
The dreaded apology tour.
He did. He was scared for his fucking life.
He did do a bunch of shows and he was manic, saying recreating the scenario.
Yeah.
I remember saying you don't understand. The baby was in no danger.
Yeah.
I was holding it.
He explains it. I have a Larry King clip here.
This is what he says here.
And associated media and journalists. And some dignitaries too, Australian dignitaries. Now, this is at a time in my life where life was good. I'd been nominated as for Australian of the Year.
Okay, let's get to the situation.
Riding this incredible great wave. And so, steeped in family tradition, I got little Bob and I feed this croc.
Bob?
Yeah, Bob is the son that he had.
Oh,
with
so
him.
it wasn't Bindi. She would have been
No,
older.
Bindi was older. Bindi was
Gotcha.
I got little Bob, and I feed this crocodile, and then, I run him down to the pond, just having fun with my son like I do, whether it was in front of people or whether I do it on the carpet at home on the floor.
It's showing the footage
which I do
now.
to this day. 4 cameras at different angles, okay? The 3 news cameras.
Oh, my God.
I'm sorry. That baby
went
is
to the
close to the
news
crocodile.
edit.
So close.
They went, it's a good news story, but it doesn't work. Never showed it.
Okay, so yeah, that's where after that he starts getting into the angles more, and that's where I'm like, shut the fuck up, dude, about the angles. Like that crocodile could have just fucking scurried right to him and like taken that kid.
That's
out
not
easily.
trick photography.
No.
That baby was in
Super
close proximity.
You know what this reminds me of? John Schur from Woodstock saying, "Oh, it's because the press wanted to make it look bad."
Yeah,
it's always
exactly.
Trump does that. Fucking
The
everyone.
media
does
is
that.
out to get them.
The media is out to get.
And
you.
I hate to say it, but from that point on, he really wasn't well loved anymore.
The Crocodile Hunter.
Yeah.
After that movie, I think that Kyle, felt the need to boo it. But I think he was on the downward slope. I think he peaked in like 2002, and I think he was on the downward
Earlier.
slope. You think so?
Yeah, I think like 99, 2000 was probably the peak.
Interesting.
2001, let's say, right? Because that leads to the movie.
Sure.
But this baby incident, and then people started looking into like, it's not really that safe what he's doing on TV.
Well, some people were like, he's kind of fucking with animal habitats and stuff.
Yep.
He went up to like the North Pole in like the glaciers, and they said like we didn't really like what he was doing up there. They said he was like scaring animals when he would like go in the bush and like fuck with them. He's
He was
like
instigating.
He's an instigating.
Yep.
He's got a. That'll come up very soon, actually. The
Oh,
instigating.
boy.
But yeah, I think you're right. I think there was a fatigue of the Crocodile Hunter for sure.
And I just want to say that I can confirm that Timothy Bottoms plays George W. Bush
In that movie.
in Collision
I
Course.
kind of knew. I don't know why I knew that, but yeah, the That's My Bush actor who got
That's the same guy from That's My Bush?
Yeah, he
okay.
got a lot of work from that actually. Yeah.
Nice work if you can get it.
There's a lot of George
Yeah.
Bush impersonators that got work at that time.
And one of the biggest ones, the most popular, he died a few years ago. That's another story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Death and very little entertainment.
No entertainment whatsoever. Yeah.
No, there's a comedian that did Bush all the time.
Oh,
and then
I
he
know what you're
died.
talking about.
Terry Irwin said her child was in no more danger than one being taught to swim. I'm
yeah,
like,
okay.
Swim in a pool of piranhas.
Yeah, there was water there. Teach him to swim.
Yeah.
Come on, Bob. Let's see the backstroke.
But he agreed that he would never do this ever again. So I guess that
Okay.
like bygones be bygones and crocodiles be crocodiles.
Everything was totally fine. I'll never do it again, but everything was totally fine.
Yeah. And the thing
Give me a break.
the thing I didn't do wrong will never happen
Yeah,
again.
but let me stress, I'll never do it again.
Yeah.
Steve Bridges, that's the comedian that had a career of playing Bush.
Okay.
Drop dead.
No relation to Jeff.
Or the London Bridge. Mark, are we talking about something here?
Yeah. Like everything tends to do, the controversy died down. People just forgot all about it. Steve didn't lose any contracts. He still had his relationship with Animal Planet and Discovery, so he was doing well.
And Terry.
And Terry stuck with them, thick and thin. These two would always stick together. That was their big thing. We're a team, we're a unit, us against the fucking world.
Can you imagine if she was pissed about the baby thing?
She was not pissed at all, which
She's like, you didn't go far enough.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no, she's from Portland.
Yeah.
Never mind. You didn't go far enough.
Yeah.
Should have put him in the fucking mouth.
Yeah.
That's what the Boston.
Yeah, why is she from Boston now?
You fucking pussy.
Yeah. She's from South Boston.
What are you,
Portland.
a queer?
Yeah.
Dangle the kid.
You a queer? What are you afraid it's going to eat the baby?
Fuck these fucking naysayers. Fucking throw that fucking baby in that crocodile's mouth or you getting no pussy tonight.
Either punt or no cut. Okay.
Okay. So, anyway,
She's
order in
booing.
the court.
She's also booing his trailer with Kyle. Boo! Isn't that your husband? Boo!
This guy's gay.
You're booing them having sex.
He barely fucks.
Marital
You
sex.
see those shorts?
Yeah.
Queer.
Order in the court. Okay.
Kangaroo court.
Okay. He's still working.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it kind of he phased, but you know, he hung on.
Yeah.
And Discovery still loves him because he's made them fucking tons of money. And he's not gotten a lot of it for himself, to be honest.
Really?
It doesn't seem like it. It doesn't seem like his contracts are. It's also basic cable. And it's like, you know, I don't think he ever worked. He's not like a killer like that where he asks for what he's worth. In my opinion, he just doesn't know what he's worth. And I think Terry was like a good business person, but she didn't really put it together well enough for them to like get like fuck you money from Discovery.
I would have thought they had that by then.
I don't know.
It's the part of being a trailblazer, I think, it being like one of the first of your own kind. Like,
yeah.
How do you judge what it's worth?
Yeah. There's no big payday, but I think he was still, what's that?
Who do you put it up against?
Yeah.
Jack Hanna. He got paid $10 an hour.
Yeah.
So Steve destroyed him then.
Yeah. But yeah, Steve went back to work in September 2006 while Terry Irwin, she was traveling with Bindi and Robert, the kids. Steve Irwin he's off the Queensland coast with John Staten again and the whole crew. And they're on the Bat Reef near Port Douglas, Queensland. They're taking part in the production of the documentary called Ocean's Deadliest for Discovery. During a lull in filming caused by bad weather, Steve Irwin decided to snorkel in shallow waters while being filmed in an effort to provide footage for his daughter Bindi's television program.
He was snorkeling?
Yes.
And what's with this Bindi program?
She had a program that came out on Animal Planet Kids the next year in 2007.
So they were planning that.
They were planning that.
Huh.
Fuck.
Yeah.
So
But
why does he think that a
No.
snuff film is going to help her career?
No, just to clarify, Ocean's Deadliest was something else. That was something they were filming that they couldn't really do right now in the deeper waters because of like the rain and bad weather and shit.
But seriously, he's like, I'm going to get us some killer footage.
Yes, for me Bindi.
Literally.
Yeah.
Literally.
So him and the guys were in like chest deep water, like off the coast there. Steve is approached by a short-tailed stingray.
Oh, he's approached.
Yeah.
Hello, good sir.
What you up to?
It's a sales pitch.
Little tip of the cap.
Yeah.
We don't usually kill humans.
So this stingray is about 6.5 feet wide, though, which is that's a big approach right there. That's a pretty big approach.
I
Yeah.
see that thing coming. I am jumping out of the water.
He's swimming in Fukushima?
These
nuclear waters?
Oh, because it's
Chernobyl.
It's Chernobyl.
Yeah.
Yeah, these stingrays have like super sharp tails.
It had like 2 heads.
The head is basically at the bottom of the stingray, if you ever seen one. Like the mouth is like down here.
Yeah.
And they have these big fucking stingrays these big tails that like have like sharp things at the end of them.
And so he's knowledgeable
Yeah.
about this stuff. He's probably thinking like, oh, this is a stingray.
You know what? I think
there's no danger here.
you know what I think with him? I think he wasn't that good with like ocean animals. He was really good with like bush inland animals like that and crocodiles, but he didn't really know what he was doing with animals like stingrays and shit.
They are not deadly most of the time. Isn't that true?
For humans, yeah.
Typically, no, it's rare.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's why I said it must have been a pissed off stingray and other stuff going on in its life that like this was just like the straw that broke the camel's back.
It heard
the
about
stingray's back.
It heard about the baby incident.
Yeah.
The stingray was just listening to too much Limp Bizkit.
Yeah.
The stingray was sitting next to Kyle when the trailer came out.
Yeah, he watched the movie also. Yeah, he had to sit through that because Stingray's girlfriend's really a fan of the Crocodile Hunter. And she's getting hot and bothered by the Crocodile Hunter.
Yeah, that stingray was a CIA sympathizer.
Yeah, he voted for George W. Bush, I think.
Yeah.
That's his Bush.
In the bush.
Yeah. So Steve, here's the picture I'm painting here. Steve is like in chest deep water here. He sees the stingray down here. He goes over it. He's going over the stingray.
Because I just want to swim over you.
Yeah. And the stingray.
It would have been like a beautiful moment for him.
Picture the stingray here.
Yeah.
And like the stingray has camera people all around it, sound people, all these fucking crazy people going on. He thinks it's being like coordinated and attacked.
Yeah.
So Irwin is going over the top of it. Boom. The stingray hits Steve in the fucking chest with its tail.
Yeah.
With the barbed tail.
Yeah, so if people don't know, it's sharp enough to stab in, and then there's like hooks shaped for on the way out, it'll rip out anything that's inside you.
Like a fisher, kind of.
Yeah, but multiple.
Worse, but more barbs and
Yeah,
stuff.
a lot more.
That'll fucking destroy
so
any flesh.
Sharp enough to go right into any flesh and then pull out anything that is inside. So it's very destructive.
And wasn't it like stabbing him multiple times really fast?
No, it was stuck in him. That was the thing.
No, it was stuck in him. It took a shot.
They didn't want to pull it out.
Hang on. It took a shot at the cameraman that was next to him. It almost hit the cameraman with this fucking tail, which is like it had to be like 6 feet long also, the tail. And it just missed the cameraman, and then he took another shot and it hit Steve. So it was stabbing in the general area of these guys.
Wow.
And Steve just had, one of the cameramen just said he was just unlucky.
Wow.
Just unlucky. That it hit the perfect spot. It goes into his chest, and one of those little ridges just punctured his heart.
Yep.
And just fucking exploded it. And it was like, that's it. He thought they thought it just punctured his lung. And they're like, yeah, that's something you can live from because you have 2 lungs. And then right away, Steve just goes, I'm dying. He just, that was his last words.
I'm dying.
I'm dying. Yeah.
How apropos.
Yeah. It's just unlucky. Everything.
I didn't realize he was snorkeling. He was standing in the water.
Yeah.
Like it was very shallow.
I knew it was a totally unnecessary endeavor.
For someone like him,
I thought he was out in the middle of nowhere, like jumping off a boat and like landed on one and it fucking stabbed him.
Or even filming for his actual show.
Yeah.
He's just trying to create content for his daughter's show.
Yeah, he was taking a break from his show and trying to create some of Bindy's content.
Ironically, his show was called The Deadliest Ocean or whatever.
Yeah.
Ocean's Deadliest.
Jesus.
His show was called, I want to get this. His show was called Ocean's Deadliest. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was her show called? More Deadliest?
Yeah. Look what I did to my dad.
The ocean killed my dad.
And all I got was this stupid show.
All I got was this lousy t-shirt.
Forget about the dingo.
Yeah. Crew members aboard Irwin's boat administered CPR and rushed him to the nearby Low Isles hospital, where medical staff pronounced him dead.
Jesus.
So he was dead shortly after.
I mean, it would.
Well, they brought him to a hospital and he was pronounced dead there. I don't know.
I think that's some Disney World shit saying like, oh, he made it to the hospital, but there's no way.
Yeah, on the way. He was probably already dead.
He was dead in the water, for
You
sure.
mean the tourism department of that
No,
area?
he was. He had to have been gone in the water.
Yeah, it's just a protocol.
If you puncture your heart, good luck.
Yeah, you're kind of saying that's a happier story that he died at the hospital.
Yeah, no, I think.
I mean, generally it is if you have something to protect. Like Disney World, famously, they will not pronounce someone dead on site.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
for liability reasons.
There was footage of.
There was a production there. The production
could
say, "Hey, he died at the hospital, not here."
There was footage of this death.
Can we see it?
No. There's a lot of fake footage out there.
Lost footage.
No, there's footage, but John Staten had it, and he looked at it, and he said he would never show it to anyone, and he gave it to the police department, and they might have destroyed it.
Destroyed it.
Terry said they destroyed it. John Staten said it might still be around somewhere. The police department might have it, but there's a lot of fakes out there with a lot of fake, death footage.
I definitely saw a fake one.
They're all fake out there.
What was on that?
It was just a guy in the water, but it was like the middle of the ocean and like fake blood coming out. And stuff.
Yeah.
That's why you
and
thought
you
it was
could only
the
see the
middle
guy's back.
of
Yeah,
the
exactly.
ocean.
Yeah.
There's been some phony stuff talked about the Steve Irwin's death. One thing was that he couldn't back up because the cameramen were behind him, and that's why it was able to sting him like that. They were like 6 to 10 feet behind him, so that wasn't like a true story at all. So
that is so.
It literally was just unlucky.
Yeah, unlucky. Wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah.
And the daughter, where is she? Where's Bindi?
At this time?
Yeah.
Probably having a picnic on the beach.
Well, you hate Bindi.
No, she's probably like enjoying her life.
No, him, Bindi, the mom, Terry, and Bob were traveling somewhere else.
So it's because it's for her show. That's why I was wondering.
No.
She wasn't actually there.
Like, just to clarify, because I did say this at the top, that this was for his show.
No, I know, but he was filming extra for her upcoming show.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's why I was wondering if she was there for some reason.
No, she wasn't there. She was traveling with Terry and Bob. They went on like some special trip somewhere else.
And they're probably having a great time.
Yeah.
Then they get a phone call. You're not going to believe what happened.
Well, what happened was, they were far away, and because Father's Day was like a couple days before. Australian Father's Day is in September. And he
really?
Yes.
I never knew that.
Yeah, and they were trying to reach the Crocodile Hunter, or whatever you call him, Steve Irwin.
Steve Irwin.
And for Father's Day, and they weren't able to get through to him because he was off filming all this stuff.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden they travel. They were going to like Tasmania. The family was like Terry and them. And once they finally called back John Staten, that's when he told them, Terry, I'm so sorry. Steve got hit by a stingray and then he died. And then that's when she got that news.
He said it that casually?
I don't know exactly. I don't have any footage of him saying it, nor do I have
We had a nice shoot so far, you know. We got some good footage. Steve did die, of course, but
yeah. There's just like in passing. Yeah. We had a good dinner last night.
What do you have to?
Yeah.
You want to go get some grub?
You're single now, eh?
No, that's horrific. And then the daughter,
yeah,
just think of knowing that he was filming extra footage for your show.
Yeah, but she was too young to kind of process it.
Of course, of course, but I'm just saying.
Yeah,
it's just a sad, perfect storm of tragedy here.
Yeah, it's tough. It must have been, horrible for them because it's just sort of a random thing. He was 44 years old, still a pretty young guy. He's
very young.
Entire family, life ahead of him. Still super famous and crushing it.
And what coast is this?
This is like the south coast of
Australia.
Australia, yeah.
Oh, he was home too.
Yeah. Far away from like his zoo and stuff.
Right.
But like still, in Australia.
Yeah.
It's her, you can't even imagine. And everybody, when they heard the news, that's what you're thinking.
Yeah.
You're just like,
everybody was like, what?
Yeah, like, really?
A stingray got him?
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
Yeah, he should have been eaten by an alligator or something.
Yeah.
Not an alligator, not a python, not a shark,
not a
stingray,
not a crocodile, not even an alligator, because alligators are not really his forte, and they're not really in Australia anyway.
Good point.
Yeah. So after Steve,
I don't know the difference.
After Steve's death, there was a big ceremony at Australia Zoo, which is like the family zoo. That was the final name of it, Australia Zoo. So it was the Birwa, whatever, reptile fauna. And then it was the Queensland, reptile, blah, blah, blah. And now they settled on
exotic cats.
Yeah. They settled on the name Australia Zoo. And so after Steve's death, there's a big ceremony in which Russell Crowe MCs it.
And he beat the shit out of everyone there.
Yeah.
He threw a telephone at the busboys.
What are you doing here?
I'm fighting you.
I'm going to go find me that stingray. He takes out a fork.
Yeah.
Like stabs it.
Me and Tugger.
You want to fuck with me? Come here, you fucking pussy Stingray.
Like, Russell, no one said anything to you. Like, there's no Stingray here.
He didn't even know Steve Irwin.
Yeah, you probably didn't. Yeah, a lot of people were there. That was weird to me. Hugh Jackman was there. Cameron Diaz, Justin Timberlake from the beginning.
Cameron Diaz.
Yeah,
because she was dating Timberlake at the time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But why
was he there? Yeah. He's like, I got the song.
Because he had the #1 song at the time.
Sexy back. Hello.
Bringing Irwin back.
Yeah, maybe they just try to get as many famous people there as possible.
Yeah, he did like the Candle in the Wind.
But it was sexy
We're
back.
bringing Steven back.
Everyone's like, this is so inappropriate, but I like it.
This is gratuitous, but catchy.
It's so bittersweet.
I can't stop dancing.
Bittersweet.
I hope he doesn't rip anyone's chest off. Kevin Costner is also there. Russell Crowe, like I said. David Wenham, don't know who that is. Kelly Ripa and Larry King were also
Kelly
there.
Ripa.
What the fuck is she doing?
going on?
Yeah, I don't know.
Larry King?
Steve, now did you survive the Stingray?
But he loved Larry King.
Didn't.
Yeah, he must have loved Larry King because
Answer me.
in that interview, he's like, "You're the best broadcaster in the world. I love you, mate."
Yeah.
Talking about Larry King.
That was Larry King to Steve?
Yeah.
I love you, mate.
And Larry King's like, "Did your show get canceled?" To bring up the Seinfeld.
I went out on top. I wrestled the alligators all the way to the top.
I was a Stingray.
On top, mate.
After Steve dies, there's some Stingray abuse going on around Australia.
Oh.
There were
People took it out on the Stingrays?
People took it out on the Stingrays.
There was a vendetta.
Vendetta!
I want your family dead.
Retribution.
Who the hell would go after stingrays in the ocean?
The bushland retards.
Oh, whoa! No, these are coastal retards. At least 10 stingrays were found and mutilated on the beaches of Queensland after this.
Wow.
With their tails cut off.
And they had families.
Yeah. Yeah, they had jobs, they had families, they had mortgages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Took their little stingray hats off.
There was also some negative backlash here. Bill Maher, professional comedian and asshole, he wore a
Political commentator.
Yeah, he wears many hats. And he wore the Crocodile Hunter's hat for Halloween in 2007, prompting some backlash. He dressed as the Crocodile Hunter, but with a stingray on his chest.
Bill Maher did this?
Yes.
Wow.
Was it 2006 or 2007?
It could have been 2006.
I think it would have been 2006.
No, 2006 would make more sense because Irwin died in September. That's right. So yeah,
Wow.
so that Halloween.
So it's 6 weeks later.
a bunch of people were doing this costume. Though.
Yeah, it was not that original that year.
Yeah.
That and Borat were the big costumes.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And he addressed it on Real Time. I remember seeing this.
Yeah, he
in
said
his new rules segment. He's like, "Stop giving me shit about my Halloween costume."
Yeah.
Along those lines.
He said,
okay.
he said, people who really love animals understand if you get killed by one, chances are you were doing something to it you shouldn't have.
Okay.
You want me to apologize for making a joke? And he's like,
I mean, it's
no.
not really a joke.
Yeah, he's not
Literally just
making
dressing as the way the guy died.
Yeah, he's not making a joke.
Not really a joke.
New rule: fuck with the stingray, get killed.
Get the horns. Yeah, what an asshole.
Get the Mar. Okay.
That brings us to the other controversial joke.
South Park.
South Park, yeah.
Yeah, we have the clip here. This aired on October 25th, 2006. So about a month later.
Wow,
Yeah.
but they put that together
VIP.
quick.
Don't just let anybody into my VIP area, okay?
Satan is throwing a
Hey,
hell of a
Satan, you got a little
party in
problem.
hell right now.
Look, somebody showed up in a Crocodile Hunter costume. It's really offending some of the other guests.
Oh, jeez. Dude, the whole Crocodile Hunter thing, it's just a little soon, I mean, he just died a few weeks ago, and it's just not super cool. You gotta leave.
But it's me, Satan. Steve Irwin. I am the Crocodile Hunter.
Oh. Oh, but then, dude, no costume. Sorry, Scott.
So the bouncers
Hey,
just
Sinatra.
kicked him out.
Oh, dude, the no costume.
Demodius! Demodius, we have a problem!
That's so good.
I think it was such a ridiculous thing that people were like, this is something you have fun with.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. This is also in the shadow of, Gilbert Gottfried making the 9/11 jokes after, at the roast or whatever, the aristocrats, all that shit.
It's the gallows humor. The Geeners we're always
The
talking about.
Geeners, yeah.
And it's also hand in hand with what we were talking about before. He already had bad will since the baby incident, and it was starting to shine light on all the dangerous shit that he was promoting. And this was just one more thing. He went and poked the bear and then got eaten.
Yeah. We're talking about Steve
By
Irwin.
not a bear.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're talking about Steve Irwin.
Yeah, he pissed a lot of people off and a lot of animal rights activists and stuff, where he claimed to be this anti-poacher, pro-animal person. I don't know. I didn't really see a lot of proof of that he was actually bad with animals. I think he was just a crazy showman, and it was more about him. And it was secondary about the animals sometimes. But I think he was he got a good rep for doing that with the crocodiles, of saving them rather than poaching them.
Yeah, and killing them. And
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's
a double-edged sword for sure.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Double-edged stingray tail.
Whoa.
Boy.
Too soon.
Is it too soon?
No costume, dude.
Yeah.
Or it's not 2006. That's the other way to put it.
There's one more thing I want to go into, but I'm not going to spend that much time with this. There was some family drama after Steve died.
Okay.
His dad, Bob, after 18 months after Steve Irwin died, he left the Australian Zoo sanctuary because he said it was becoming over commercialized. And Bindi made some Facebook post where she says she hates her grandfather Bob now because he has emotionally, psychologically damaged her because he returns gifts. He never went to her wedding. He never returns calls or texts or anything, or never contacts that side of the family because I think he hates them.
So he's railing against everything that made Steve end up in the situation he was.
I think that could be it. So, yeah, I think
psychologically
that's what it
sounds like.
That's what it sounds like.
And her wedding was somewhat recently, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was in 2020, I want to say. Yeah, it was.
So it's a long-standing feud.
It's difficult. It's difficult because it was around all the lockdowns with COVID and stuff. So whether or not he had a good excuse if he didn't want to go, but also he doesn't seem to like that side of the family.
Wow.
And I think him making that statement that he thought the Australia Zoo became too commercialized seems like kind of crazy.
Hot theory that might be in bad taste. Should I say it?
Yeah,
Say
of
it.
course.
Okay. Maybe he blames Terry and Bindi for Steve's death.
That's what Kyle's just saying.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. I'm just copying Kyle.
Yeah.
No, I mean, that sounds kind of like what it is. Like, not even just them specifically, but the lifestyle that led him to the point where he was killed.
Yeah.
Going bigger, stronger, faster.
Yeah.
Pushing further. But what else was Steve going to do? He was going to do it regardless.
Like,
I agree with that.
Saying the family business is too commercialized and that's why you're not going to talk to your grandchildren, like, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I think he's trying to kill a part of himself that feels, he probably feels a little responsible for it because
He moved the family up there.
Yeah. Early on, Steve says, I'm what I am because of my parents.
Ah, yeah, that's true. Wow.
They started the sanctuary. There would be no Steve Irwin if they had been in insurance.
Yep.
Exactly.
If they stuck in the suburbs, who the fuck knows what he would have been doing?
Yeah. Exactly. He learned it from his parents.
Yeah, and he did always say, I wouldn't be here without you guys. And that could, speaking of double-edged swords.
Yeah.
It's
I think
sad.
he's trying to kill a part of himself by getting rid of his family.
Yeah.
And it's getting rid of a piece of guilt he feels about it.
Yeah, they unfortunately, some people bond over tragedy, and he just sees Terry, and it makes him feel bad.
Yeah.
So he can't be
Well,
around.
because Bindi is still, she's in the mix still. She's on Animal Planet still. She's got her own
And the
show.
Sun, too.
In the Sun, yeah. Bob's doing it also.
Yeah.
And the son-in-law, and Bindi's husband is involved. He's like a wakeboard surfer from Florida. He's like in the mix now too.
They're exactly like Steve Irwin.
Yeah,
the whole
yeah.
family. They just continued that tradition. They are, and I don't mean this in any bad way, but they are camera hungry. They are self-promoters.
Oh, yeah.
You always see articles about this family.
Yeah.
Just, they released some photos or they're going to go recreate one of Steve's crocodile attacks.
They probably have the same PR team who's working with him.
Yep.
And like, it's just like they were born into this, like he was born into it, with his dad, Bob, and he just took it to another level.
Yeah, exactly.
What's wrong with that? What did the grandfather want them to fucking still be scraping away in the shitty Birwa fucking reptile sanctuary?
Could be a number of things. He could resent the fact that his son was more successful than he was. It could be that he
Where's
blames
his cut?
the family. Yeah, if
but
he's not getting a cut.
No, he is getting the.
He is.
Terry
He should be.
Terry says she makes a point of this. She is still paying him every week from the fucking the Australia Zoo.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was part of the deal when her and Steve took it over in 1990, that they were going to pay the parents and take care of them. And Steve made her promise that they would take care of them forever. And she's doing that. And she's like, I send them checks.
Yeah.
We built the house that they live in now.
So it's not a money thing.
It's some weird grief-stricken, deep-seated
It's not a money thing.
Yeah.
thing that they're trying to erase from their memory because they can't deal with it.
They're probably just assholes. I don't. I think
I agree. I think again, I totally understand if they make them feel uncomfortable, but at some point,
You don't cut your grandkids
the
off.
widow and your grandkids.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. I think maybe the great grandfather Bob has his head up his ass. He thinks he's like some spiritual fucking thing who takes it. No, it's not a monetary thing with him, but fuck him.
Yeah, I mean, get over it.
Get over yourself, asshole.
Build a bridge, bro.
And then jump off it.
Whoa.
I meant get over it. But,
Oh, okay.
hey,
I thought I was.
Mark's got a vendetta against this guy.
Jump into a tank of stingrays.
I just got heated at the end of the podcast here for no reason.
Because we like family on this
Yeah.
podcast.
Yes.
When you hear your family.
Yeah.
Right. Any last thoughts?
Any final thoughts here?
Great performer, made a huge splash, no pun intended. And the baby thing was kind of the start of a decline that ended in tragedy and set the stage for Bill Maher and South Park and other reactions. But on the other hand, his family continued the legacy. They brought some awareness to Australian Outback and all the wild animals there. And there you go.
He could have single-handedly been the reason why Outback Steakhouse did so well.
He's single-handed the reason that I got a bloomin' onion ever in my life.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah.
And a Foster's.
Foster's.
Australian for beer.
Australian for queer.
Whoa, okay.
All right, we gotta go.
That was his pickup line.
Yeah. As always, guys, follow us on Instagram at Death and Entertainment, on Twitter at DiePod2021.
TikTok at Death and Entertainment. We're blowing up on the talk.
Yeah.
So you better get on the Die Talk now before we leave you behind.
Yeah, before it's too late.
And YouTube, the old standby.
Yes,
Of course,
at
yeah.
Death and Entertainment. And, rest in peace, Steve Irwin. Also this week, rest in peace, Coolio. We didn't mention, but
We might touch on that later. But
Yeah,
yeah,
it's just paradise.
Coolio, great artist. Great guy.
Yes. Yep. And there you have it.
There you have it. That's it, guys. Thank you very much. Have a nice week. We are Death in Entertainment. And as always, don't go dying on us.
Good boy.
You have just heard.
A true Hollywood murder mystery.
I have never seen anything like this before.
The movies, Broadway, music, television, all of it.
A place that manufactures nightmares.
Okay, everybody, that's a wrap.
Good night. Please drive home carefully and come back again soon.